Somebody that I know is predicting that real estate's about to go up 18% over the next year and a half. Let me tell you about it in this video. I'm that agent Kelly. I talk about Canadian real estate in my local market of Abbotsford and the Fraser Valley. If you guys like my content, like this video, subscribe to the channel. I got a link in my description that you can book yourself into my calendar so we can chat one-on-one. So if that's what you want to do, please go ahead and do so. So I brought a gentleman named Vince Taylor onto my podcast. It's called the Big Deal Real Estate Podcast, by the way, on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, feel free to go check it out. But Vince Taylor runs a company called Pilot House Projects, where he basically markets new developments for developers, markets and sells new developments for developers. Now, this gentleman has been in Vancouver real estate since the 80s, possibly even the late 70s. Been very active in Vancouver real estate since then. And he actually, I don't know exactly how he phrased this, but I believe he sold the very first pre-sale, or he sold the very first pre-sale project ever in British Columbia, and it was actually a townhome project in Walnut Grove. So that's how long this guy has been around. He sold the very first pre-sale ever in BC. So this guy has just about as much experience as you possibly could have in Vancouver real estate. And when he came onto my podcast back in summer 2022, he had a prediction that the market was going to bottom in November and then proceed to rally quite sharply into the spring of 2023. And as we all know, that is exactly what happened. Now, of course, the market could come back down and go below the bottom, which he predicted or whatever. I personally would say that no matter what happens from this point forward, he was right. Because even if the market does go down at this point now, you've had a very long, time frame to buy in and sell out of that property. Like if you bought in November and now you're selling in July, you would be making a bunch of money, and that's, an 8-month window you had to get in and out. So even if the market does go back down at this point, my opinion, he is right regardless. He was exactly right. So I just had Vince Taylor back on my podcast last Thursday, and his new prediction is this. He believes that the real estate market here in Vancouver, Fraser Valley, Lower Mainland, whatever, is going to go up 1% on average every month for the next 18 months. He said it doesn't have to go up 1% every month. Maybe some months are flat, maybe some months are negative 2%, maybe some months are plus 4%, but the average will be 1% over the next 18 months. Now, I personally think that the market will be lower a year from now. I don't know about 18 months, but I think the market will be lower. Maybe not drastically lower, but maybe a couple percent lower, 5% or something like that. Who knows, right? Like my prediction doesn't matter. Vince Taylor's prediction doesn't matter. Nobody's prediction really matters. Like a 3-year-old's prediction could be just as good as mine, right? So we do this for fun. But the reason why I like Vince Taylor's prediction is it's because a prediction that I haven't heard yet, right? And typically markets will do the outcome that was the least predicted. Whatever the majority thinks is going to happen is the least likely prediction or the least likely outcome to actually happen. The market always seems to align itself with the outcome that everybody thought wasn't possible. Just like if you were saying the market was going to rally 10 to 12% back in November 2022, you were seen as an idiot, basically. So in my opinion, I think Vince's prediction is so unlikely that it actually makes it more likely to happen, if that makes sense. And the basis of this prediction is that pretty simple. We're not building enough. Immigration is super high. And I mean, man, if they lower interest rates, bond yields have obviously spiked in recent times. I personally think they're going to come back down again. Real estate's still going up. I was in a pre-sale center earlier this morning. Within an hour, they basically sold out 50% of their units. Pre-sale in Langley sold out basically 50% of their units in an hour. So the demand hasn't slowed down yet for whatever reason. And we're getting into July. Rates are way higher than they were a month and a half ago. And I think, if bond yields come back down, if they lower rates, and the fact that immigration, all these things are bullish for real estate. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that we can talk about that's negative for real estate, but the basis of his prediction makes sense to me. I could see how it could happen. So let me know in the comments how mad you are about realtors supposedly pumping the real estate market. And if you enjoy my content and me apparently pumping the real estate market, subscribe to the channel, like this video. I'm that Agent Kelly, and I'm making moves to move you. Peace.